Ladies and gentlemen, SeKo Starcraft is giving you another of my favorite matchups, Terran versus Zerg. But this time we have Omniscient as the blue Terran in the bottom left versus Vicious GX, red Zerg in the top right. Now this was a very long game, but one that has some really fun, cool stuff about it. So I'm going to speed it up a little bit at the beginning. Obviously so I can go through this a little bit faster. But there's some points in this game that I definitely am going to want to pause and talk about a little bit, because it's a game that was really about decision making, and this was just a really gritty game. I have no other way to really describe it. This guy looks like he's going to be going for 14 hatch, which I really like. This guy's opening is going to be really focused on getting an incredibly huge macro lead, which is what you should do if you're playing as a Zerg on a map such as this with a lot of space. I'm going to be moving into my classic Reaper Scout. I'm moving out with an SCV as well, just to see if I can maybe catch him off guard, put down a bunker or something. So Reaper's just finishing up. He's going to head out. Got my wall at the front. And I'm going to be moving into a really fast factory as well. Factory. Oh. Unless I decided to make something. No. You can do stuff there, Chief. Anyways, I am throwing down my bunker at the front, which you can't see this until your hatch finishes. The hatch only has about this much visibility. That's about it while it's being made. So he can throw down bunkers really easy just outside. He's pulling off his workers to come and attack. Obviously I can just run away from these guys for a while. My bunker's almost finished, so I'm just going to jump in. Managed to pick off one worker, which is great. And look at this range on this bunker with this Reaper in it. I can hit that thing. That is ridiculous. I do have a second Reaper on the way, which is going to come down here and join this. He does manage to sneak out a worker. Oh, excuse me, which looks like he's going to be going for an earlier expand. Behind this, I do have my factory down. And I'm continuing to produce SCVs. The guy hasn't built a ton of lings to come attack this yet, so he's obviously got a more macro-oriented mind. Man, look how close I am to taking that thing out too. He's so slick to be able to pull that off just before my Reapers get there. So I'm pulling him out, do a little bit of micro back and forth. I am playing this on a MacBook once again as I'm killing time, which does lead to some of the difficulties I'm having. I'm going for a command center behind this, but he's going for his 3 hatch opening, which is really good. I see the queens, and I'm out of range of the spore crawler, so I'm just going to pull back my units and salvage. I mean, I did a pretty good job, but he dealt with that so smart. He kept building workers. He's building tons of workers behind us. More queens, getting his injects going for a 3rd hatch, which I didn't scout, which I should have with these guys. It's just running around to see. But for right now, he's going to be getting up to such a sick macro lead. So I really do like this guy's play right now, which is to really focus on getting that lead. I run in here with my Reapers. I'm going to try to pick off a queen. Once again, my micro using my MacBook is a little bit off. I do pull back to hurt one, which is nice. But once again, I probably should have tried to keep those alive. I usually try to teach myself, don't suicide units, it's not worth it, and here I am suiciding units. I'm getting out a tank for the front, because I'm expecting this guy to push in here in a little bit, but honestly, like, he's building 10 workers at a time. He's keeping up, well, he got supply block there a fair bit, but if we look at the units tab, I mean, 36 workers to 19. I don't care if you got mules, it doesn't help that much. He's going to wall off at the front a little bit. I don't know if that's super tight. But regardless, it's a smart thing to do if you don't really know what your opponent's doing, because I could be making, you know, 8 blue flame hellions behind this and just go and toast stuff. So it's good. All of his workers are just at his 2 bases here for right now. Starting to spread his creep really nicely, which I like. Yeah, good coffee. He's getting his speed behind this. I'm starting to get more barracks. I really want to get my production up to a high level. But I really want to start going for some sort of aggression. What I don't want to get into, which is my normal Terran strategy of just turtling up and then losing to some big push at like the 15-minute mark, because I've done nothing with my life. I did send in an SCV to scout this, so if we look at this guy's pretty darn good. I believe he was a Diamond League player. This was an unranked match, Oh, I didn't scout this shit. Man, what a shitty scout. I think I'm pretty well assume at this point that that's what's happening. I did scan to see he's going to lair, see that he's getting gas. This isn't really good saturation at his main base. This is obviously pretty good. I do like getting the spore crawlers up and the defenses. If you've got the lead, don't lose to something really shitty like a banshee or something like that. Well, you don't lose to a banshee, but it's just going to set you back. So I do land my command center. He's not doing anything to stop it. Couple tanks at the front. Got my marines happening there. My SCV count's pretty good, and I'm still building more 2 at a time. And I'm gonna run off here with... This would have been smart to pick off. I believe just drop your marines and pick that off. But I don't think this guy actually notices this thing going out. So I get a little bit of help doing that. Behind this, he's starting to build some lings. A Hydra Den. I'm not a huge fan of Hydras against Terran, even with speed. But maybe he knows something I don't. This guy's obviously pretty decent. He's getting his upgrade. He's getting Burrow, which I really love. I think that's really smart. But now I've got my expansion happening. But if we look at the units tab, 57 workers to 25. And he's still building more. It's pretty sick lead. Getting my stim pack, +1. Because upgrades are going to be really, really important for me in this game. This drop got so scouted as well. Watching your mini-map is something you got to get really, really good at. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to drop away. I was thinking about dropping into the mineral line, but I'd rather catch him by surprise. It'd be nice if my stim pack was done. But for right now, I'm just going to go in there and try to put on a little bit of a hurtin'. Once again, I'm trying to macro with a MacBook, so forgive me if my stutter step isn't really that great. I managed to get a few kills, but I'm going to pick up and run away now. Great timing, in come the lings. Just going to pull out of there. I mean, no reason to try to overcommit and lose those units. I don't have enough of a lead to do that. Good defenses at the front with the siege tanks, making marines, you know, quite a few at a time. We're going to get supply blocked here pretty soon, so I've got to work on that. 2 factory, 4 racks. Looks like I can support that pretty good, even without taking my next 2 gas, which I will have to here pretty soon. But just making marines. Oh, that was a really nice little snipe. I did a drop. This is something to pause for a second. This is something to really do when you've got your medevacs and you know he doesn't have mutalisks or anything yet. Is if you're going around the map and you see things that you can pick off, just do it. It helps you so much to get more awareness on the map and more control. And obviously you can always just pick up and run away. I like having the overlords, the overseers out really soon. He must have dealt with a lot of widow mines in this time. Creep spread's going nicely. He's got his 3 bases up. He's got defenses at each from, which is really good. And I'm still building more SCVs, which is nice. Got to keep building that economy. I should be looking to throw down another command center or something soon. Yeah, I scanned to see that this base is happening. I see that's not really that saturated yet, though. Just threw away a few links to see if he can snipe a tank. It's not a bad move. If these marines aren't here, the tanks would obviously start killing the crap out of each other. His upgrade's moving along really, really nicely. These are slow hydralisks. I don't really know what the value of that is. I mean, they'll get rolled pretty easy by a bunch of marines. Oh yeah, more hydras, more hydras, more hydras. Behind this though, he's going to be going into swarm hosts, which I've just started. Oh, here's my nice little run into the base. I do have my stim finished, so I'm going to try to get good position behind the mineral line. Very important with your drops here. I mean, I don't have a lot left, but what you can do is if your marines are in a good spot like this, they can only attack 1 marine at a time, and I think only 1 Zergling can attack at a time. The medevac will keep it healthy. Even if you have 2 or 3 lings, the medevac will still keep that thing going. So we're going to see I'm going to end up killing off a ton of these lings. He eventually figures out what's happening, I believe. Runs behind. I probably should have stimmed up again. Do I end up losing them all? Just barely. But I mean, that was a very cost-effective trade. I wiped out all but 3 of those. I should have saved that medevac. But that was a really cost-effective trade. He's producing another 21 workers? Holy crap. Oh, let's look at the units tab as that pops. He's at 76. 76 workers. Well, I'm up to 41 right now on 2 base, so I'm still cruising along, still building them. Armory on the way. Should be getting out more upgrades for my marines though while this is happening. But I'm going to go push out with this little force, see if I can catch him with a good timing. He did something really smart, which is burrow all of his lings at my natural expansions that I would go to. Very smart thing to do. What are these Marines? They're 1-1 Marines. He's got 1-0 Hydralisks. These tanks are 0-0. I'm going to siege them up. Now that I'm on to creep, I obviously want to have my tanks sieged up in time. I don't have any medevacs out yet, but these Marines do so much DPS, they're going to melt through that army. What I do see here, though, is the swarm hosts. I know my time is limited right now, so I've got to go and try to do some damage if I can. So I'm going to try to move into a closer spot. I mean, these spines are great. They're buying him so much time. I'm going to kill off another queen. Stim up. He does pull off with his workers. I mean, you might as well. My Marines are pretty weak. I end up killing off 4 or 5. And I do end up running out of there with my tanks, which is really good. Because I'm not going to face off against those swarm hosts. If you're doing this as a Zerg, never 1A your links into this. They're not smart enough to surround. Run ahead of the units and then attack, so that way you can surround them all and pick them off. As you can see right now, he's not killing off any of them barely. I think he's going to get 1 tank. That's all he managed to kill out of that. He should be able to take out all those tanks. Swarm hosts are going to be burning up. I see the locusts popping out. So I've got to pull back there. Building another command center, which is nice. If we look at units, I got up to 45 workers to his 69. So I'm not doing as bad. I should have pulled back that tank. That's kind of an unfortunate loss. Now, you're never going to trade cost effectively against locusts, unfortunately. But if you do have Marines in the front that are upgraded with medevac supporting, you can actually last pretty good against those. Going to have my high ground tanks going to defend here. I'm going to move around for an attack on the other side. Still producing a lot at a time. Trying to get my medevacs out. Am I supply blocked? It looks that way. Looks like I'm amazingly supply blocked right now. Oh, I'm building them down there. I managed to luck out a little bit that his swarm host is a little bit too far away to do damage. I'm going to move around on the other side now with this army. He got pretty badly supply blocked right now as well. And me killing off these pile of overlords is really going to set him back. I managed to pull back a lot of his army to deal with this, which is great. As I produce more and more units to the front. That command center is finished. I send up 1 Marine to try to start doing damage to this, which is fine. See, what I tried to do, and this was a bad move on my part, is I tried to get on top of these swarm hosts. Once again, my micro is so bad with my touchpad MacBook that I lose all that stuff. And I'm on creep. There's no real point of me trying to pull back my tanks right now. They're dead. There's nothing I can do about that. So that for me was a really bad decision. It would have been worthwhile just to come up here, pick off those overlords, send up a few Marines to kill off this, and then run home. I lost way too many units and I didn't really do anything effective. I have my high ground tanks up here which are helping out. He still hasn't moved up his swarm hosts yet. When he combines them with the rest, I'm sure he'll do that. I have a few Marines over here with the command center. It's always nice to put your Marines with their back against something, so that way they can't get surrounded. But he does go with enough Marines to be able to pick that off. Sorry, enough Zerglings to pick that off. And I do see that happening, so I will be forced to cancel this. I'm pretty sure I cancel this. Yes, we do. Save that money. I'm starting to build up a bank. Oh, my 2-2 is about to finish, which is great. But I did finish a command center, which I'm going to float over this soon anyways. I'm sure he just wants these Hydras. Oh, here's another bad thing. He's commanded his locusts behind my army, so most of them got picked off. If he actually attacked with those, he would have actually done a heck of a lot more damage. These tanks are just getting tons of effing kills in the front. I see that he wanted to have his Hydralisks really to try to, I think, pick off any Banshee attacks and stuff that I use against swarm hosts. It'd have been better just to drop creep and drop a few spore crawlers, I think. His Hydras aren't paying him any dividends right now on the map. He's moving into Spire, building another command center, more swarm hosts, more overlords. He got supply blocked again. But he has about double my supply right now. Having 2 Marines at the front with tank support is really helping me out a lot. He's got his 4th and 5th bases on the way. He's going to go for the gas fast, which is nice. He's going to chase away my command center with that 1 Hydralisk there. If we look at the units, what are the workers at? 63 to 44, so he doesn't have as big of a lead anymore. But I am on 2 bases, and my 2 bases are really quickly running out, so I do need to get a 3rd. More tanks sieging up, and he's doing something really smart. Kind of smart. These are bad rally points right now, but if he's using these to get vision, he's actually able to pick off a couple of my tanks from the low ground, which is really unfortunate for me. That I need to kill off that Overlord, because it's letting his Locust see my tank. Oh. I get a pretty good timing right now to come in with this drop. You know, once you're... I'm going to bring this up now. When you're behind like this and you're really stuck in here, rally to the front, keep it safe, but then start sending off some drops. This guy should be building, you know, 2 or 3 spores and spines at each base, because this is the only way I'm getting back into this game. He's covering most... like, these cover my ways to escape right now. So it's really hard for me to bust out. What I have to do is drops. So sure enough, this is what's really going to afford me getting back into this game. Run back into here. I'm going to kill off a big pile of workers. And I'm going to have great position on that base. This is buying me a ton of time. He sent his locusts the wrong way. And this is buying me time to come out and secure my 3rd base, which is super, super good. Once again, I'm going to get my Marines into a good spot. These ones at the front will die, of course, but look how slowly they're dying right now. I mean, his Lings have +2 armor, so they're not dying super fast. But my Marines just aren't dying. Once again, we're back to... Achievements disabled. Oh, I guess my internet just crashed on me. Whoopie crap. Oh, come on, computer. You can make it. I believe in you. Totally believe in you. You're totally a winner. You're totally gonna make it. Alright. I think I'm just putting too much stress. I'll pause for a second, let this motherfucker catch up. Alright. So now I've secured my 3rd base, dropping tons of mules, picked up my last 2 Marines. It's very important you move your medevac to pick up your Marines. Oh, now I'm reconnected. God damn you, internet. Oh, thank you, and one of my achievements. So I picked those up, but what I'm going to do is just go and drop them once again in a good spot, and let them go back to work for a while. No reason not to. So, this guy really needs to deny this 3rd base. This, for me, because I'm milling so many Marines, my income's just skyrocketing now. Did he finally take these guys out? I think he finally does, yeah. Once again, I have all these tanks sieged up. How many kills these guys got? Lots and lots. Moving all my workers over, which is great. He's moving into 8 Ultralisks, which is pretty sick. I gotta move out for another attack right now, so I'm gonna pull off a good chunk of army. I'm gonna leave these guys here to defend. Am I gonna leave these guys? No, I'm gonna pull them all together, I believe. Yeah, now I'm gonna go up to attack his other base. I know that this one got pretty well destroyed, so. Still tons of locusts. Look at those flying locusts, isn't that cute? That's so cute. Killing off a few more overlords. This guy, he's building 10 overlords. He just does not want to get supply blocked again. Some banelings in the mix, which is nice. I don't believe I've scouted that yet. But I do know that it's a possibility. Still defending at the front. I scan. I do see the banelings here. So I know I don't want to run up with all my Marines onto creep with my touchpad MacBook to try to defend this. So I'm going to do a little bit of attack. I see the banelings once again. So I'm going to pull back some of my Marines. 3-3 on the way, which is really nice. He's getting greater spire right now, which is also really good. Now he's going to push in. This is a really bad spot. I'm going to pause for a second. Tanks in siege mode are worse against Ultralisks. But I kept him in siege mode in case he ran in with all of his banelings and stuff, which I think he did. Nope, he didn't. Where are his banelings? Did he run away with them? Anyways, I wanted them sieged up to take out banelings, and because this is a choke point. But splash damage doesn't happen on Ultralisks. So having them in siege mode serves you no purpose. So if I didn't see banelings in here, it'd be worth my time not to have it at all. I believe I did kill off the banelings with my siege tanks though. The DPS from my marines is obviously going to plow through this. I'm losing quite a few marines, but because they're all stuck up on top of each other, he's not trading very cost effectively. And he lost all of his Ultralisks, and look at his supply drop there. He lost so much supply. I'm going to pick up into a drop ship, try the main. Going to go behind with an Ultralisk. Ooh, look at those parts. That's cute. Still more attacks to that side. This is completely undefended, by the way. 6 links in here would have killed everything. He does stop my drop here. Smart on him. He's throwing down spores and spines, so he doesn't lose his tech. I like that. I think that's pretty clever. He does eventually clean this all up. Oh, those are changelings. That's why. I'm just going to drop behind the base. I'll lose my ship. Yeah, what are you going to do? You going to kill that off first? No, you're not. Ah, those guys would get his dead. I've got another big pile of units. So I'm going to unsiege everything. I'm going to push out because I'm going to push along the south and go for another attack. Actually, what I really want to do is force his swarm host to unsiege and fall back to buy me time to move into my next base. I need to control this space right here. I did something really bad as I moved commanded over a bunch of locusts, so I lost a lot of my units there. He smartly doesn't run away too far, just to the edge of his creep, and he sends in, and he gets his locusts back out again. In come the lings. Once again, leaving my tanks out of siege mode to deal with this. And you'll see that would generally if I focus it down, get pretty beat up. Yeah, that gets focused down pretty fast. I lost a lot of army right here doing this, which is very unfortunate for me. I lost a lot of siege tanks in this attack. But I am able to push out to this part of the map. And I'm going to start rallying my units up there pretty quick as well. Coffee. See, with all the medevacs in the back and the 3-3 marines, they're tanking really good against the swarm hosts. The swarm hosts aren't paying off enough right now. Now I'm going to move in to get my 4th base. Once again, completely undefended. I'm making so much cash here right now. Actually, let's bring up the units tab. 61 workers to 48, so pretty close. Mining here. This is still mining good. This is mined out. That's essentially mined out. And he's mining there now. He should probably take this gold base, I think. While he still has map control. These guys are doing pretty good at the front. I do know that he is going to have burrowed more stuff over here again. Now he's moving into corruptors. I was hoping to come in here and snipe the banelings, but he had enough lings to be able to stop that. I do see the corruptors come out, obviously, so I've got to get my medevacs back. What I wanted to do is have a medevac over here so that my tanks have further range on their shots. And I pick off those 2 corruptors pretty easy. Having some broodlords would have been pretty sick addition to this right here, I think. But if we look, he's having a tough time getting up in supply right now. I mean, he's used up all of his bank. He's got so much gas, but he's got no minerals. So in these bases, I'd probably not be worrying so much about getting all this gas. I'd be moving back into some minerals. I'm loading up another drop to go in for an attack at the south. And I'm continuing to just keep producing tanks and marines. I probably need the tank upgrades to happen, but my marines are fully upgraded, which is fantastic. Do they have combat shields yet? I don't know if I even ever researched combat shields. Yes, I did. I'm like, wow, I'd be a total scrubby newbie scrub if I didn't. Do you have that drop heading over here, I thought? Yes, there it is. Once again, I'm using my MacBook, so I don't think I'm actually microing super well. Yeah, that's a little sloppy. There we go. Dropping down. At the same time, I dropped to the top. I lost my medevac, but great position behind the mineral line. I believe, I did click L, but once again, MacBook. I'm not going to give it too much crap. He does get a good surround on my units here, but it's just such a good position. And these are 3-3. You know, did I kill them all? Holy crap, I did. 3-3 Marines. Champions of the universe. Oh, I think he's going to get that medevac. Oh, regardless. These guys, look at the kills he's got. 14 kills, 10 kills. Those guys are so sick. I didn't get there in time to drop. Anyways, now if we look at the units tab, he's down to 30 workers to my 48. Oh. And I have a pretty good supply lead at this point. I'm going to push in for another attack to the north. And I should be moving over my next command center here pretty soon, I think. Are these mine? Yes, they are. I do see this because I left these units up here so I can kind of see what's happening at the north. I do need to get some medevacs out here to support these. He's going to run in with these banelings, which is smart. I see that just at the last second, so he manages to kill just about all of them. But I have some Marines to get back into the front to protect. Next command center is going to be moving over. Yeah, I do look at this. He doesn't have a base over here. Good size army. What am I scanning? I think I'm scanning the corners. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, I'm scanning all the corners just to see if he's expanding anywhere. And he's not. This, like, if it's not working, you gotta try something new, right? That's kind of the bottom line. Dropping creep, really smart on his part. I'm going to run down with a pile of my Marines here pretty soon. Let's see if we can... That's a lot of lings coming out. I think I managed to drive a lot of this back, though. Yeah, I've got enough Marines here. I managed to drive most of this back. He's going to run his lings out to their death, I'm assuming. Yeah, pretty much. Now I'm focusing on this army. I'm just going to push up. I did scan before this to see if this was a smart move. Stimming up to get in here, kill off this base. So we see I'm taking a pretty big supply lead. And if we look at the income tab, I'm taking a pretty good income lead as well. His creep's going to move soon so I can move in. Moving all of his workers down to the bottom. At this point, he can't even afford to go into Broodlords. Yeah, I don't know what this guy's going to do, but this is just not working at all. He's been doing that the whole game, and it just never really had a big impact. Earlier on it did, but after that, you got to find something else to transition into. Am I moving over here? There's the command center moving over. Yep. All that stuff got taken out. Down this goes. And I should be getting my guys to work here pretty soon. Do I have... Yeah, I moved over all my guys from the main base. Drop a pile of mules. My gas is probably my limiting factor right now, so I'm just starting... Like, I just got these, but I haven't even put people into gas yet. Got a pretty good wall up at this side. I should move a few Marines down to the front, so if he does run in with an attack group, I get some vision of it. Gonna go with another drop down here. Gonna get my gases at this base so I can get even more production. Oh, I gotta grab these guys too. There they go. Good timing. And I gotta get more people into the gas. Blah, 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 blah. Now he's gonna pull back with all these guys to try to defend. This medevac is a little unsure of himself. There we go. Drop the units. Stemming up, another queen dead. More drones killed. And there's nothing you can do to stop this really. And GG's and leaves. This was a really long, very gritty game. That this guy had so many opportunities, I think, to win this. This base completely unchallenged. Having a bunch of lings to run by would have completely stopped so much for me. Moving into this base, maybe moving his few of his swarm hosts around to this side. He had like 20 or 30 of them. Move 6 over to this side and attack this way. it means we have to go and siege up something different. The drops that I did in these bases, a couple of spores and a couple of spines at the back, shut down, right? You're not going to be able to stop that. So this is something I learned a lot from playing from the Terran side and the Zerg side. But this guy was winning this game for like the first 75%. It was just really smart, gritty play. And I enjoyed that a lot. It was a sweaty game. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. I sure did. And we'll talk to you guys later.